Hello, Kelsey.
Hello, Robert.
How are you?
I'm wonderful. How are you?
I'm good. I'm gonna give a little heads up for what we're
Hmm.
gonna be talking about already.
Okay.
Ready, ready, ready? Get my camera down. Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Okay, this is like the most basic shirt that exists on the planet.
It's pretty basic,
Have
yeah.
you ever seen how many people have this shirt, though?
You, and that's it.
Are you for real? I got it because I was like, yeah, I don't have a Star Wars shirt, and everybody out on the street, everybody has this shirt. It's just, and
Just says Star Wars.
you know what makes me mad about it?
Just the fact that it just says Star Wars.
It's not even a black shirt.
Yeah.
It's a gray shirt. It's not even like space, you know?
The
Like
final frontier.
it's not the yellow on black like Star Wars would look.
Right?
You know, it's gray. It's weird.
It's not it's not terrible. I need more
Yeah.
Star Wars merch. I was looking today in my closet and I was like, I have a themed shirt for this. I know I do. And I have like this one, which is the closest I can get because
I do like that one though.
it's a stormtrooper. I got
Yeah.
this. I don't remember where,
I thought it was a
but
clone.
I,
There's a
it's
there's a difference,
there's a difference.
I think.
Yes. Yeah, this is a stormtrooper. I have a shirt that just says like I think it just says Vader on it. It's just got Vader's head,
Okay.
and then Richard has one that's like a recruitment poster for the Empire, like Uncle
Okay.
Sam, but it's Darth Vader.
Yeah.
So
Like
I
the people that
I
like
need
Star
more.
Wars have surprisingly little amount of like clothing items like that. Have you ever noticed that?
Yeah, yeah. I thought I had more, but then I don't.
Are there not good Star Wars shirts out there? Like
Maybe
is that the
not.
problem?
I was thinking about it today, like, when we went to box lunch the other day together,
Yeah.
and I was trying to remember, like, was there Star Wars merch there? I don't think there was.
Nope. There was
It's
not.
like, as culturally relevant as it is, especially right now and, like, the Star Wars renaissance that we're experiencing, there's shockingly little Star Wars merch.
Yeah, it's like always I don't know. It's like items. It's not like
Yeah,
clothing. You can get
yeah,
like, you know, a Death Star waffle iron. That's a thing.
for
You
some
know,
reason.
I actually was at Hallmark the other day, and they have a Death Star, like wreath ornament
Okay.
thing. It's like $200,
Ugh.
but like the little like hole in it has like the green light that like like comes around it. So it's
That's
it's
cool.
like cool. But like there's Christmas ornaments and all this stuff. But this is the best we can get for a Star Wars shirt.
Yeah.
You know what I
Star
mean?
Wars.
Yeah. They're like, you know,
It's Star
you
Wars.
know.
You can imagine the rest of the shirt.
Yeah. So, in case you couldn't tell, we're talking something Star Wars related. We're
Something
not
Star
talking
Wars.
Star Wars. We're talking the Beard Bitch.
A big bitch.
The Beard Bitch. Um, so this is all because you expressed a need, a dire need for me
I
to watch
did.
this.
Yeah. So we've been talking for a long time that I really want you to watch Clone Wars and Rebels because
Yes.
those are like two solid Star Wars shows. And I think overall, in the grand scheme of things, they are better than the movies,
Okay.
which is a big statement, I know, but I think they are.
But you have what? 10 times as much material inside of them? Like it probably
Yeah.
would be because there's more that's going to happen,
Yeah, and not
you
only that,
know.
but, like, they take the time to take these characters and put a magnifying glass on them, as I so love to see. It's
Yeah.
just small characters made big, and I live for that shit.
Yeah.
So, I have desperately wanted you to watch Clone Wars and Rebels, and then
Yes.
I watched Bad Batch, and I was like at the end of Bad Batch, there was a
I'm showing off
specific
the
thing
batch.
that happened. Look at them. Look at the Batch. They're so cute. I wanna hold and hug all of them. But no, there's a specific thing at the end of Bad Batch, which we will get to in the course of this review that I was like, "Robert is
Okay.
gonna fucking lose his mind. We need to I need you to watch this."
Yeah, we will get there.
We'll get there.
We'll get there. So, I guess let's hit up the bullets. All right. So, when I started watching it, literally the first thing you said was, "Who's your fucking favorite?" Like you had to
Yeah.
know immediately. Okay. So I guess this bullet point can be split in two because I'm going to ask you two different questions here.
Okay.
Who is your favorite character, but who is your favorite of the Bad Batch?
Right. So for me, as okay,
Hmm.
there's like the characters in the show, there's not a whole lot to go off of that are specific to this show. So
Okay.
in choosing a specific favorite character for this show, I think it would have to be, I think we can both agree, Omega.
Yes. I
Is
love
like
her. She
she's a
is
very strong character.
awesome. Which
Um,
I realized in asking the question that might actually be a double standard because she technically is now part of the batch.
she is. So the whole thing with Omega is that she was like, the alpha and the omega. So we have Jango Fett who was the alpha. He was like
Yeah.
the original template for the clones. And then Omega, she was the last one that they were going to do. And it was like she is an unaltered clone.
Yeah.
So she doesn't age like these guys do.
Yeah, she's aging normally
Right.
and cuz they're like 9 years old, right? Or something?
Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, these guys are like 9 and she's also 9,
It's
but
so
very
sad.
different, you know.
Yeah.
But in the whole thing, though, clones age rapidly at the start, and then they pretty much just like go normal from there.
Yeah. So
Wasn't
they
that the whole
age like
premise?
real hard and then they kinda, like, plateau off, and then
Okay,
typically they just die in battle anyway, but you in Clone Wars do see some clones that were, like, not fit for battle, so they're, like, janitors and shit around Kaminoa, and they're
okay,
at the facility janitizing.
okay.
Very old and very sad.
Just oh, uh, so yeah, Ormega is definitely
Omega,
the best character. She's so cool.
the little Kiwi accent.
Oh my god, I love it. She's just
I
so adorable. I love
okay,
her.
when I first met her, I was like, "I'm not gonna be able to get over this accent," because it was hard for me to get into it at first.
Okay.
It was off-putting to start, and I was like, "I'm not gonna
Oh
ever
man,
enjoy this character," but I ended up, of
I
course, falling
actually
in love with her.
really like that accent, like a
Uh,
lot.
it's one of those accents where, like, I can take it for a short period of time, and then I'm like, "Okay, time for something else."
Okay. So, if she's the greatest character, if she's the best one, who's the best of the batch?
I wanna hear your answer for this.
Oh, I mean, hands down, 100% easiest thing ever. Although I did second guess myself a little bit just now.
Oh, you did?
A little bit, because I do like Tech quite a bit,
He's okay.
right? I just like him. But the clear favorite for everybody is Wrecker.
Rika.
Frickin' Rika.
Rika. Yeah,
Dude,
I love Wrecker.
he's hands down the one with the most personality.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Even though they all have like one personality trait, his one
Basically.
trait is just bigger than all the rest. You
Yeah,
know?
like, both in physicality and just boisterousness.
And I'm going to say not even in that because, his. All right, so I'm going to come back to what I'm going to talk about with him.
Okay.
But, like, so we got. Man, I can't remember this guy's name now. Who's the guy with the arm that's all messed up?
That's Echo, and he
Yeah.
okay,
But see,
there's,
he's
like
not a batch.
he's not, there's a lot of backstory behind him, and I don't know how much you learn in Bad Batch, I can't quite remember how much it goes over where
Basically
Echo
nothing.
okay, he's
They
got
just
a
go, oh, he's
huge
not one of us.
yeah, he has a huge plot line in Clone Wars, he's just a regular clone, but he got real fucked up, and the
Yeah.
Bad Batch ended up, like, going in and saving him, and
Okay.
after that, he was like, "I'm one of you now."
Yeah. I mean, I really like him,
Yeah.
but his personality is, ah, man, I'm a robot dude now, and I kind of
Yeah.
am sad.
Yeah, that's his whole shtick.
Yeah. Then there's Crosshair, whose personality trait is that
A
he's a
dick.
Slytherin, I guess, because he hisses a lot with his low, slow talking, monotone shit. Like he's okay.
Yes.
Even Hunter, like Hunter's the leader. This dude right here, leader.
Yeah.
And his whole personality trait is just I'm the leader. I mean,
He's just like he's the most basic bitch clone pretty much. Like
he really is.
he's a clone, but they just like turned it up to 11 kind of.
Um, so I know that like the whole thing is they kind of dialed in one trait on each of them, and it like fucked them up in some way or
Yeah,
something.
so the
Is that what's up with his face?
I don't know. I kind of think it's a tattoo because it's like it's a skull shape. So
Kind of
I think it's
okay.
intentional. Like a lot of the clones will do something to themselves to make them stand out. Like there's a clone who's called Fives. His clone number is 5555,
Okay.
and he like tattooed a five on the side of his head just so everybody knows like this is me. I'm Fives.
Okay.
Um yeah, so a lot of
Okay.
them like Crosshair, he's got that tattoo of a crosshair on his eye. So that's
Yeah.
just stuff that they do to make themselves stand apart as clones.
Okay.
But yeah, so for the Bad Batch, their whole thing is that they were, kind of experimental clones that they were trying to do something cool with, and they call them the Bad Batch, but they're not failed experiments, they're actually successes, and I
Yeah.
think what they're trying to do in this is they're trying to like, you kinda see toward the end of the show is when the Empire starts phasing out clones in favor of the TK troopers, which are, like, the next level of, like, soldier, pretty much,
I thought the TK Trooper was just volunteers
I guess.
because they were like, yeah, we don't want clones because they're just told to do it. But if somebody chooses to join us, they'll never leave.
Right, yeah.
So that they're like, we want volunteers now. We don't want designed people, which I
Yeah,
thought was
so
kind of dumb, but
well, that's why they're phasing
whatever.
out clones. I guess I mean, yeah, you would think that with the inhibitor chips, they would have full faith in their scientists to say, like, "This
Kind
is
of?
how
Yeah.
it works." But clearly, you see the inhibitor chips, will come in later as part of the story beats that
Yeah.
they don't quite work all the time.
Yeah. So then
But
so what? There's Tech. He's just super smart,
yeah,
but I like him because he's cool sometimes. I don't know. I just like the like smart guy. It's like, oh, let me figure this out for you, or like he'll like deliver the
quiet
bad
hacker.
news and then just be like, I mean, that's just the numbers.
Yep.
But then you got Wrecker, who out of everybody, so his big bombastic thing is that he's a wrecker. He fucking wants to blow
He's
shit up and
rock.
demolish stuff.
Yes.
But I'm saying he actually has more than the one thing because of one of the episodes featuring his inhibitor chip. There's a scene with him where I'm like, he had the most range out of anybody. Nobody else even delved close into their big bombastic feature to like this level of humanity on their side.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody came close to a range of emotions that he came in with.
Are you talking about his little teddy bear?
No, and we'll talk about it because I think I kind of missed a thing. I want to know what your favorite part of the show was,
That's a big
or
question.
the part that made you cry the most.
Okay.
Because I think I told you to guess mine, and I don't think you made it there.
Okay.
You told me to tell you on this, so
Yeah.
yeah, but we'll get there.
Okay.
So yeah, record, dude, instantly like episode 1, my favorite dude, like hands down. But episode 1 is an hour long, and I
Yeah.
wasn't expecting that. I was
I
just like in the ride, and
yeah,
I
I
didn't even
forgot that it
realize
was
an hour went on.
right, I forgot it was that long, and then when you messaged me about it, I was like, "Oh, yeah, they do have that one long episode to start you off," which was nice. I
Oh
love it
yeah,
when they do that.
because I paused it and I was like, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna like go get a drink." And I was like, "Well, how much longer's left? Like 10 minutes?" And it was like 30 minutes. And I was like, "How long have I been watching?" And it was like 30 minutes. I was like, "Really? I thought I was halfway through a like 20-minute show."
Yeah,
Okay. Actually, do you have something to crack?
I do have a cracker.
Yeah, I need to crack into this so we can get into the bitch. You ready?
Do it.
Do it. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay. Mm. All right. So, episode 1. When you meet the batch, they are like helping out this group of clones that are like trapped in this spot, and they're like, "We're never gonna make it out. There's too many droids." And they're
Yeah.
like, "We'll get the batch in here." And then they're like, they're like a group of people with like, I don't know, probably 50 plus clones like in their platoon,
Yeah.
and these five dudes do more than that whole platoon.
They carry their weight.
Like that's what you were saying. They're not failed. These
Yeah.
these guys go hard.
They're super soldiers. Like,
Okay? Yeah.
they're legit.
Yeah, dude, these guys don't fuck around. And I mean, we got to talk about it cuz it's episode 1, and I just want to say I've already told you, but everything Star Wars today
Uh-huh.
has to revolve around Order 66 or else it doesn't matter.
Everything. Oh my god, yeah. Dave Filoni is obsessed with Order 66. He's like, "I've made you new Star Wars content, but it's just the same Order 66 over and over again." I think he does it just as a reference point, so you know, like, this is when this is happening. It's right at this point in time. That's like his ground zero.
But are
He
you
wants
telling me there's no other big moments in the show ever?
I mean, yeah, of course, but, like,
Well, not show. I mean, movie
in the
series
timeline,
technically. Yeah, okay.
yeah. I think for a base level fan coming into this show, like for you, you know what Order 66 is. You're like a base level Star Wars fan, I would say. You like Star Wars, you appreciate it, but you're not one of those people that's
I
like, I
feel
have all
like
the books and I
you
have
got
all
to
the
go
toys.
like a step below that probably. No,
So
but
yeah.
yeah, yeah. I mean, like I know the movies. That's it.
Yeah. And Order 66 is an understandable touch point. You can get in and be like, oh, this is when this show takes place.
Yeah.
So I think that's the function of it. But yeah, I am tired of reliving Order 66 because at
Yeah.
the beginning of the show, so this kind of delves into our fourth bullet point, things you need Clone Wars for, or as I would say, characters you would care more about if you would watch Clone Wars and
Yeah.
Rebels. Um, this show, you don't need to have watched those two shows in order to enjoy, but
Yeah.
in order to like fully understand what the story is doing and where things are going,
To take in
you
the
kind of
nuances.
yeah, to get the little, like, the nods. There's
Yeah.
a lot of little bits and pieces in this, and at the beginning, in Order 66, you see this little kid, his name is, Caleb, and you see him,
Yes.
like, running away, and the clones are chasing him, trying to get him because he's a Jedi, you have to kill all the Jedis. That character plays a huge role in the show Rebels.
Okay, because that pissed me off when I was watching this cuz like, "Oh, look, you know, Hunter let this clone go
Yeah.
or let this Jedi kid go. Like, cool. I wonder what's going to happen with that." And literally nothing happens with that.
I
And I was
wanted them
like,
to
"Oh, this is not important at
Ugh.
all." Okay.
I know. I really wanted to them to, like, really delve into that story because he's one of my favorite Star Wars characters. Period. Like,
Okay.
he's so good, he's amazing,
So
and
good.
he's so good. I think you super, super need to watch Clone Wars and Rebels still because you're going to see that character later and you're gonna be like, "Fuck yeah."
Okay. But like, I guess I thought because I didn't know anything about the show, I kind of thought maybe it was gonna be like, oh, these guys are gonna be taking care of this Jedi kid. Like that's why they're the Bad Batch because they let this kid go, and they're gonna be like taking care of this Jedi and like hiding him. Ooh, that's
Oh,
interesting.
that
Then
would
he
have been
never
so
showed up again.
cool.
Never showed up
I
again.
know. I hope he comes back in season 2 because there's still a
Yeah.
lot of question marks about him.
Okay. So we push forward on from there, and so I'm pretty sure all of them hear Order 66 get said. It didn't
Yeah,
play to their communicators. Like, it didn't play to them. Like, it
right.
wasn't broadcast to them, but one of them's like, I don't know, they said Order 66 or some shit.
Yeah.
And they're like, what about it? And they're like, I don't know. So, like, literally nobody in this group cares.
That was the thing with, like, the inhibitor chips and wondering whether or not they would affect the Bad Batch, like, have these guys kind of evolved beyond their inhibitor chips,
Yeah.
or did they not receive them as part of a clone experiment? Like, what effect did the
So,
inhibitor chip have on these guys?
the inhibitor chaps.
Naps.
Um, I guess I didn't know that inhibitor chips were a clone thing.
Yeah.
I thought, just in their DNA, like because they were clones, they are produced. I just thought in their production, it was the means to follow these rules and be told what to do and stuff. I didn't really think it was, oh, we grew a person and we're controlling them through a chip.
Yeah.
I didn't get that from Attack of the Clones, I guess.
Right.
But it's also my least favorite movie that I've seen twice now. So I've probably missed that line
I couldn't tell you if it was
when that came
actually
out.
in that movie or not. I just know that from Clone Wars, the
Okay.
show.
Hi, buddy. Okay, hang on. I have a little
Do you have a
boy.
little man? Oh, it's an
Yeah.
ugly boy. I thought it was
Yeah.
a kitty cat.
No, they're not allowed in here. He likes to just sit and sleep in my lap, and
Oh,
he was just like pawing, like, Dad, please
please
hold me. Yeah,
hold.
I'll hold you, buddy. So, Order 66 gets announced. They're like, hey, we gotta help this kid. Like, his, Jedi master just got fucking blasted to shit. Like, we gotta make sure
Yeah.
this kid's okay, because we don't know what's going on. And then old Crosshair here, he's starting to go full-blown Voldemort and shit. And he's all, oh, good soldiers follow orders.
God.
And I was like, so what's his deal?
Yeah.
And that's before the chip really got talked about more, because the chip comes into play heavily later on.
Yeah.
But I guess his chip is essentially working, or starting to work on him, I guess.
That's what you're led to believe in the beginning, yes.
Yeah. And so then, well, see, so I'm going to come back with a question on that then, because,
Okay.
I kind of got to rewatch the show to figure out what you're hinting at here.
Oh.
Well, you said that, you're led to believe that. So,
Yeah.
I mean, we'll just come back to it.
Okay.
Crosshair and his, like, good soldiers follow orders shit from episode 1.
Follow orders.
So anyway, I'm actually really glad that he never, like, turned back around and joined the group, because I don't like him.
Yeah, he can fuck
Like,
right off and die for as all as I care.
yeah, I don't really care for him, because I was like, he's part of the batch. Like, how... This show's weird. Like, they're, like, down a guy. He's gonna rejoin him, and it's gonna be this happy family moment at some point, and it never happens, and I'm cool with it. Like, I'm cool with it.
I just want to, can we talk about the end here for a second? Because there's a point at the end of the show that maybe we'll get to that later because it is part of the end.
Yeah, we gotta, like, keep coming back to shit.
Yeah.
The show's very, like, by the numbers. This show goes into this one, kind of, but then, like, the ending starts going like, oh, yeah, did you catch all the shit we were doing the whole time?
Yes, and Dave Filoni lives for that stuff, and I live for that stuff. It's so good. He just, like, he gives you the breadcrumbs the whole way, and then at the end is like, "And a loaf of bread!" And you're like,
Yeah.
"Oh, the bread! There it is."
So, Tarkin shows up.
Yes.
Grand Moff Tarkin, and you weren't scared by him in this show because he was a cartoon, right?
Correct.
Okay. He's basically trying to phase out clones. And this one guy's like, oh, but, like, watch how cool they are. Puts them in a test. And you just find out, like, truly how fucking badass these guys are.
Yeah.
They fucking will make a situation work.
Yes.
Period.
I love the segments where they're doing, like, the whole training stuff.
Yeah, dude. Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and come into this, because I told you this while I was watching it, said this show started going soft to me.
Okay, yeah.
I have never in my life seen this much stun gun action. Ever.
Yeah.
And I was like, no. I don't want stun guns. People should be getting shot and dead. That's Star Wars.
Yeah.
These are wars. And I don't know if that was to just, like, really show these are the good guys, because look, they don't kill anybody.
I don't know what the function of that
like,
was in the grand scheme of things, and
was it to go PG and, like, okay, kids can watch this because it's a cartoon, they're not killing people, you know what I mean? Like, oh, let's just stun everybody. But there's moments in this show where, like, they just hold a blaster to a person's face and just blow him to shit.
Yeah,
so it's like, this is not a kid's show.
No, it's not. It's way more adult, I think, than even Clone Wars and Rebels were.
Yeah. So towards the end there, it was just that blue circle flying at everybody, and I was like, I'm tired of the stun and shit. Like, where's the blasters? Let's murder people.
I don't know what the function of that is in the story. Maybe they were just like, they
Like,
don't wanna make Omega kill people, but
maybe
Omega gets that fucking
her
weapon,
thing
dude.
would kill people. That's the
Yes.
problem.
Do you have a picture of her weapon that we can jump to
Yeah.
real quick? Because this
Let's
is
just.
maybe the coolest weapon that Star Wars has ever given us.
Oh my
Holy shit.
god, dude! It's a
It's so
freaking
cool.
old technology bow.
I love it. Look at it.
And when you pull it back, this energy field just like becomes the string and the arrow, and you just shoot that shit.
It is one of the coolest weapons that Star Wars has brought us to date,
This
and
thing
I
is
want one.
awesome,
I would
and
love to
it
see a
suits her
cosplayer's
so
rendition.
much.
It
Oh
really
yeah,
does.
oh yeah,
I love it so much.
so cool. All right, back to these people.
Okay.
Okay, so anyway, in in the history of Star Wars in general, tell me where you've seen the stun gun thing.
I mean, never. Like, you hardly
It
ever
is
see stun
in
guns.
one scene that I know of, and it's in the first Star Wars movie ever, because that's what they shoot Princess Leia with when they capture her at the beginning of the
Oh,
movie. It's the
yeah.
very first like weapon we see after the blaster fight in the white hallway.
I have
Like
to look this up. Have you, like why does the Bad Batch
I haven't,
Bad
but it
Batch
just pissed me off because I was like, why are we stunning everybody?
Okay.
I've watched
So,
you shoot people in the face.
this
I've
is a
watched like
common
mob
question.
hits. Yeah, what's the deal? Now, I know
Interesting.
that at the beginning, when they're doing their testing, they gave them stun guns because they were using that to, like, hit the droids and just, like, turn them off.
It's
But,
really sad, the answer. Do you wanna hear it?
yeah, let's go.
So, they believe that they would be killing their brothers if they actually killed clones. Like, they do care for the other clones.
Okay, see, that's a badass reason to have the stun gun in it. And I'm
Yeah,
into it now.
it's their political compromise so that they're not, like, they don't wanna kill their brethren. I
Hmm.
have chills. I
These
love Dave
guys are
Filoni so
dope!
much.
These guys are dope! Okay. Alright.
Okay.
Okay. Show is not soft anymore. I take that back. I take back that text from you weeks ago. I never would have thought of that.
Yeah, me either. I didn't even notice how often they use stun. Like,
Oh my
it
god.
registers now with you saying it, like,
It's
yeah,
all I noticed.
everything they shot was a stun, so
Yeah, they were just blue light, and everybody was just falling down. And I'm like, don't you want to get rid of these people? Well, I feel like towards the end, a lot of the people coming after them
uh-huh.
aren't clones anymore. They're these new troopers.
Yeah, the
So
TK
you should be
guys.
killing them
Right, and maybe they
because
don't know
they
that they're not
support the.
clones.
They know because they know they're being phased out. Because Omega kind of told them, and
Yeah,
then they were being tested to see if they were worth keeping around.
right,
Remember?
right.
I think they know,
Okay. Yeah, I don't know why they wouldn't wanna kill the
but
TKs.
I think it all is driven by the helmet because every helmet is a different type of trooper. So they probably see. You got to watch the stupid show again to see if there's a certain type of person they do kill versus ones they don't.
Yeah.
Now I got to rewatch it.
There's so much detail in these shows. Oh my god.
Okay. So anyway, Crosshair has his chip go off, and he's really mad that they let the Jedi kid go. And then he winds up, um, I guess, getting left behind by the group because, like, he tries to like fight them, and they leave him behind to escape because,
Yeah.
like, they're gonna be killed.
Which is a thing they do pretty often, like, even later on when Hunter at some point is, like, captured by a squadron of people, he's like, "You have to leave," and Armiga is like, "No, Hunter!" And they have to leave him behind, and it's really
Yeah, but
sad.
see, he ordered it though.
Yeah.
Like they literally left him, but I would have too. He's trying to kill me now. Like I don't care that he's in my team and my partner. He's actually trying to murder me right now.
Yeah.
I think I have to leave you. And for some reason, that becomes such a little butthurt moment for him later. Like, you
I
left me.
know.
You
How
left
dare you
me.
leave me?
I never left you. Yeah, you tried to kill me, though, bro. So, anyway, that's pretty much the end of the first one. And this show gets pretty Star Warsy political.
Yeah,
Like,
it does.
phasing in and out. So, they came. So, there's the Republic,
Uh-huh.
which was the, I guess, like the whole Senate and stuff, where you would all
Yeah.
vote on all the stuff. But then when the Emperor takes over, he shuts down all that. There's no more, what do you want to say, like
Republic Galactic Senate
diplomats
thing.
or yeah. There's no like
Yeah,
representatives of each culture. It's just I own it. This is now an empire.
correct.
I'm all there is. So the Republic is no more, and with the Empire going on, the Republic hired the Camino people to make the clones. So now they're
Yes.
like, we're under contract. We can make them. And then the Empire's like, that doesn't exist anymore. So prove to me that we need you.
Yeah,
And there's lots of like leaving the action to come see that kind of stuff.
right.
But I like the action stuff.
Yeah, I
I
figured.
I did feel bad for the Camino people though, because they were like trying to get in the good graces and be like, yeah, let us just do our work
I have mixed feelings on the Kaminoan
and not fuck us
scientists.
up. I
Yeah,
mean, what they did is effectively pretty bad and
yeah.
evil. You know,
It's not great.
no, it's not great, but at least they're not like, well, we're creating this to take over the world or like the galaxy. Like, we didn't create these people to enslave the galaxy. That's
Right.
not why we did it.
Yeah, I really like the concept of having a scientist captive for the purposes of the Empire for, like, their dark doings, because you see that exactly play out in Rogue One,
Yeah.
with, what's his face being captured for, the creation of the Death Star.
Yeah, the dad in the
Yeah,
movie. Mads Mikkelsen.
Mads, him.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah.
I like that concept of, you see that in war too,
Oh
scientists
yeah.
being forced to create something that is actually a weapon of mass destruction that they don't necessarily believe in, but if they don't create it, they're going to get killed.
Yeah.
So it's an interesting concept,
Yeah.
and I I just don't like the Kaminoans. I think it's what it is. It's the character design.
Just because they freak you the fuck out.
Their little heads on top of their like 6 foot necks. Every time I
Yep.
see one of them, I just want to be like, "Kya," and just like
Think.
chop it and watch their neck fall in half.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, they're weird.
yeah, they're a little strange.
So Ormiga kept
Armiga.
kept trying to find them, and you find out later why. And I was like, that's so interesting. Fuck. Like, we're gonna come back to like everything at the end of this fucking show.
I know.
I didn't even like realize how much it all circles back.
It's like a
You know?
palindrome, like the beginning of the show and
Yeah.
the end of the show, they're eating each other like an Ouroboros.
Yeah. So then we go to the next episode. There. So these like first few were kind of like, I don't know, problem of the week style episodes.
Yeah.
It's not like one continuing thing. It's like, all right, here's our new mission. Here's our new
Yeah.
thing we're doing. You
It's
know.
kind of how Clone Wars starts too. It's just like, here we go
Yeah.
onto this planet because this is happening. We have to fix it. And then next time we're going to this planet and a different problem.
So let's see that next one. Oh, the next one. Yeah, that one was so sad. They like escaped from Camino, and they wound up with this other clone that like has a family now, which I thought was really cool.
Oh, the farmer clone, right?
Yeah.
He is huge in Clone Wars. He's got
Okay.
that's another character that you would see a lot more of. His name is Cut Lacane,
Yes.
and he's married to a little Twi'lek, and they have a
Yeah.
little family, and I love them so much.
Yeah. And Hunter was like, "You're gonna have to stay here and be a normal kid and be happy."
Yeah.
But Omega was like, "Fuck that. I like you guys," and stayed with him. And that was the best thing
Yeah.
she could have done.
She's
That
like,
made
"I'm
me
your
happy.
problem now."
I know. So then go to the next one.
They spend a lot of time trying to get Omega to just, like, stay at the ship, stay at safety, stay with these people, they will take care of you.
Thank God you brought that up because that comes into play, and I love how that came into play. Well, I mean, okay, so I mean, they don't really know who or what she is at this point.
Right.
Like, she's just some kid that is like obsessed with them for no reason.
Yeah, and they're like, "Why do you want to be with us?"
I know, we're just like weirdos.
It's like,
But
"Oh,
Hunter
right, they're
is
not
just like,
cute."
I have to take care of you because you are a child and you don't know what you're getting into. Like, there's fucking war out here, man.
Yeah,
And I don't know nothing about no kids, so I don't know what you can do.
and
So
I
he's like,
love
just
this concept, just to drill down on this
go
part for a
away.
second.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, man, one of my favorite tropes is, like, old man teaches young girl to murder.
Yeah.
And another one of my favorite tropes is, like, 4 dads and a child.
Oh
It's
my God.
just it's the best family. They're so cute. Like, it's just 4 super soldiers who are good at everything they do, except now they have a child to raise, and they're like, "What the fuck is this?"
And guess what? They're
What?
good at that too.
Eh,
They are good at it.
they are. They're, like, accidentally really good dads.
Well, so each one is like a dad that meets a different need.
Yes.
Like Hunter's the like I need you to understand things, dad. Like I have to like impart like survival stuff in you.
Yeah.
And then Wrecker's like the fun dad that like you get to joke around with and have
Eat some
fun with and
popcorn, have
stuff.
snacks.
Uh Tech is Tech doesn't really have much to do with her. He
Yeah,
does
he's
show her
like
some stuff.
he's the educational dad. I think that, like,
I
you see a lot of
guess.
Omega, like, taking apart robots and stuff, and I like to think that, of course, she knew a lot of that from her time in the science facility at Camino, but maybe Tech
Yeah.
has also helped instill some of that into her.
Maybe cuz you always see Wrecker teaching her how to like take apart landmines and take
Yeah,
apart this like weapon and stuff. Like he's always the one teaching her how to do stuff.
it's true.
He's
Yeah,
such a
Tech and
good dad,
Echo,
man.
he is. And Tech and Echo just kinda, like, take a backseat, and they're like, "Yeah,
Yeah,
you
they're
guys got that."
yeah, they're just whatever. Um so yeah, she decides to stay on the ship and then we get old Wrecker. He makes a room for her in the
Yes,
ship
and the
and it was
gunner.
awesome.
I love
Yeah.
that.
So like um the little gun seat like you see in episode 4, you know.
Uh-huh.
Don't get cocky, kid, and all that shit. Like it's basically
Yeah.
one of those seats, but she's got like a little room in there and he gives her his stuffed animal, which is the fucking best.
It's so
I
cute.
was like this close to crying, man. I was like real close.
Oh,
I didn't quite get there though. So then you find out that they're trying to replace the clones. They're trying to get new people there, and they're trying to see. Oh, actually, that was actually really dope. So this third one, these 4 guys have like defected. They left.
yeah.
So they're like, well, why should we keep fucking Crosshair then? He's one of them. Like he could not do what we say too.
Yeah.
So they send them. They send him and a group of the like new volunteer people to go take out Saw Gerrera. So Rogue One
Yeah.
shit again.
Uh-huh, and Saw is also from Clone Wars and Rebels.
Okay. Um. So was he in that first before Rogue One?
That's an excellent question. I think he was.
Okay.
Um,
Because I know him as Forrest Whitaker, Rogue
yeah,
One,
yeah.
and I thought
I'm
he kind of stemmed from
curious
there.
now, because okay, so Rogue One came out in what, 2016?
Something like that.
Soccer era first appearance.
Because I feel like Clone Wars is older than Rogue One for
Yeah,
sure.
he first appeared in 2012 in Clone Wars.
Okay.
Wow, they cast the hell out of that role. That's
maybe
like
maybe that's why it was such a big deal.
maybe.
Okay.
Maybe they designed the character with him in mind. Well, in Clone Wars, maybe you see young Saw. I can't
Okay, because
remember.
I did get pissed off that like I met this new character and he died on his planet like right there, you know.
Yeah.
So I was like, what's the
Yeah.
point of this character? But everybody we met for the first time in that movie died, so it's like whatever.
That's the whole story of Rogue One. Everybody fucking dies.
Right after you meet him. But so they're supposed to go take out Saw Gerrera, and he's already left, and that fucking this one dude who's one of the volunteers, he keeps talking to Crosshair
Uh-huh.
like he's some hot fucking shit. He's like, oh, they're gonna pick me to take over one day. You fucking
Right.
clone, you little piece of copy paste shit. Like he's so mean to him. And then they go there. Saw's gone, and there's all these like. And see, this is where I'm like, the show is hard. Okay, the show is hard right here.
Yeah.
There's just people. There's just people that were trying to be evacuated from the planet,
Yeah.
but they are for Saw Gerrera. So Tarkin tells them to kill them, like
Yep.
get rid of them, and none of those volunteer people will do it.
Yeah, they're just like, "Well, that's kinda harsh, kind of unnecessary."
Yeah, and so Mr. I'm the tough new guy goes, guys, follow me. We're not gonna do it. And old Crosshair just turns and looks at him. Good soul, just follow
orders.
orders. And shoots him in the fucking face, dude.
Oh.
He murdered that dude.
Yeah. Civilian in
And
cold blood.
that's when I went, this show goes hard.
Yeah, that at that point, I was like I turned to Richard and I was like, "They're not writing this one for kids, are they?"
Which is why I was so surprised by the stun guns later on.
Yeah.
But I didn't put together the like brotherness stuff. So okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Fair point. I'm good now. But yeah, so then the other volunteer people like, we better listen to this crazy fucker, and they murder all of the civilians.
Yep.
And then they're like, okay, you can stay because you literally just murder people. That's what we like. Good for you.
We love murderers. Welcome to the Empire.
Yeah. So then we do that. Bad Batch has to go to this planet. And that's the first time that we meet, so episode 4, we meet Fennec Shand. I do
Yes.
not know this person, but as
Okay.
you have said, this is a bigger Clone Wars thing,
She's
right?
actually from The Mandalorian.
Mandalorian, okay. Like she's
Yeah.
debuted in The Mandalorian?
I believe that's where we start with Fennec Shand, yeah, because I don't think she was in Clone Wars or Rebels.
Okay.
Um, she's a pretty cool character, like, she rides a sick-ass speeder.
Yeah.
She's named after a fox.
And
I
you
think
know I like speeders, so
yeah. I think she's very cool. She uses a bolo as a weapon, which you don't see a whole lot,
yeah.
so that's
Like,
cool.
I guess that's why I didn't have any affinity towards her in this show, because
Yeah.
she's barely in it, really.
Yeah.
Like she shows up as this bad guy trying to capture Omega,
Uh-huh.
and then she fails, and then shows up again later, and I was like, oh, maybe you're doing this for a good reason. I can't tell. And then she just kind of like goes, oh, you don't want me to do it anymore? I'll move on, and just leaves. And then she's
Yeah,
gone
Fennec
from the show
Shand,
again.
she's one of those characters that, like, follows the money, so
Yeah.
that's where she goes.
So I can't deem her as good or bad. I
Yeah.
thought she was a bad guy, but then I was like, maybe you're not.
Yeah.
So anyway, you meet Fennec.
She's
She's there.
yeah.
And then. Okay, episode 5. Here we go. You ready?
Ready?
Episode 5 is where we get this lovely weapon.
Fucking light bow.
So they go to a planet because they are supposed. Okay, so actually, they are kind of mercs themselves right now. The Bad
Yeah,
Batch.
they're just working for money, trying to kind of be on the run from Kaminoan,
Yeah, they
etc.
met somebody named Sid,
Yes.
and Sid owns like a bar.
Sid's a female Trandoshan, which is exciting because you don't see a lot of those.
Okay, I don't
Which
know what that species is, but sure.
she's just like a big lizard, basically. Trandoshans are just like big fucking warrior lizard dudes, and you don't
Okay,
see a lot of females in the species for whatever reason, especially not in media. So
okay.
to see a female Trandoshan and for her to just be like a fat little old lady was really exciting for me.
Yeah, she's just like a little mob boss. You know what? I didn't
Yeah,
get a picture of her, but
I love her. I'm trying to think of any Trandoshans in the actual show. Bosk, do you know Bosk from the movies?
maybe. I mean, I've seen people that look like her,
Yeah, they're just
but
like
not
big
many.
lizards.
Yeah.
They don't show a whole lot of this race in the
Okay.
show, but
That's
in the
why I guess I didn't know there were predominantly male ones being shown around out there.
Yeah,
Oh, well, I fucking loved her. I
she's
really
very
thought
cool.
she was gonna turn on him. Like,
I
oh
thought so
yeah,
too.
let me be good at the start, give you money, and
Yeah,
then I'm gonna like turn you in for money. But no, she's good people.
good
I
people.
I will fight for Sid, man.
Yes.
I would go to Sid if I needed help. So Sid's like, oh, go do this stuff, but also I'm staying quiet on you guys because there's a huge bounty on you. So you owe
Yes,
me like $3 million
basically.
because I'm so nice to you. So just work for me till you die, I guess.
Yep.
And they have to go to this planet to find somebody named Moochie,
Moochie.
right? And you're like, okay, who's Moochie? Because nobody knows who Moochie is. And you finally find Moochie. This is Moochie. It's a
Little Moochie.
fucking tiny Rancor,
A little teenage
like,
Rancor.
yeah, like a baby Rancor. It's
She's so
crazy.
cute. I love her.
One of my favorite all-time moments of the show because they're like, we can't fucking like blaster fire, nothing harms this thing, and they're like, someone's just gotta alpha dog this thing. So here comes Wrecker, like, oh, let's fucking go.
They just, like, wrestle for 30 minutes,
Yeah,
basically.
dude. And it just ends with them like slowly just stop. Ugh. And they're just slapping each other back and forth so slow, so wore out.
Oh, I love that whole scene.
It's so good. And then
This
yeah,
show does
we
a great job, like, balancing comedy with drama.
oh yeah. And then this was found on that planet and she just kind of took it. I was like, if you don't fucking take this with you, I'm going to get
Oh,
pissed. And
I
she did.
know.
And I'm
You
so
can't introduce
happy.
a weapon like that and then not use it forever.
Oh, I know. And then I thought she lost it in the show. But anyway. So anyway, we get Moochie. They go deliver it and they're like, oh, thank God. Jabba's gonna be really happy to get this because he already paid for this. And it's the fucking green dude with the big old slug neck thing.
Yeah.
This is this
Yep.
from Return of the Jedi.
Poor Moochie.
So as soon as I found that out, I was like, I can't like you. I can't love you because I've seen you get smushed to death.
Yeah.
I was like, I know where you go, Moochie.
I know your fate, Moochie.
So yeah, that was like really sad and one of the I guess this is the feeling that you're talking about. If I had watched Clone Wars, I would get
Yeah.
that feeling like, oh, I know that.
Yes.
Because that's how I felt with this. Like as soon as they started talking about Jabba and I saw that dude, I was like, oh, this is this Rancor. Oh no.
Yeah.
I don't like this episode now.
Dave Filoni loves to do that shit. Just, like, take a random character that you don't really care about, then make you care about them, and then be like, "Oh, it's that character."
Yeah,
He does that a lot.
ridiculous. So that made me kind of sad.
Yeah.
But hey, what are you going to do? So then they deliver that over, and actually, this isn't like what this one's about, but in the next episode, you get Omega trying to use the bow, doing a horrible job of it. And this is, I think, when Sid kind of started to win me over.
Yeah.
Because she was like, you can't use that. Look at your weak little arms. You're never going to be able to do that. You need to practice more. And then she's like, I can't do it. And she fucking grabs it and just goes, pew, 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 and shoots those three off like nothing.
Yes.
And it, like, inspires and lights that fire inside Omega. Because by the end of the show, I bet she got some guns.
Yeah, like, she's been practicing with that bow.
Oh, yeah. And then I think that's when we get into... Oh, so actually this next one is when I get real pissed.
Okay.
So this is when... So basically earlier in the show, like episode 2, they crash landed somewhere.
Uh-huh.
And they like put on the little holsters that like sit you in the seat, you know, like a
Yes. Oh
roller
my god,
coaster
yes.
thing. And when they crash land, Wrecker like flies like this and he hits his head on the like bar.
Yeah.
And for 4 shows now, he's had this like splitting headache.
God, that made me so nervous. Okay, so I want you to know that I watched this show week over week in real time. So this man had a headache for like a month in
Yeah.
real time. And I was like, what are they gonna do? How are they gonna resolve this headache? Is he gonna go crazy and just like rip Omega in half? Like, what's going to happen?
Yeah.
Is his inhibitor gonna fuck up?
So in this episode, the headache comes to fruition. Basically, his inhibitor chip goes live.
Yes.
Thankfully, though, they've
Oh
already
gosh.
been figuring out how to remove it, and they happen to be at the place they can remove it,
Yeah, which is
which is
great.
good timing, but still, though.
So at
And
this place, you actually see a lot of this happen in Clone Wars too. So there is a clone by the name of Rex who does come up later. He
yes.
originally had his chip removed at this place um, in Clone Wars, and you
Okay.
learn a lot about Rex in Clone Wars. He's one of my favorite characters. He's so
Okay.
good. He's so
Yeah,
good.
he's in like 2 episodes of the show, and
Yeah.
the Bad Batch loves him, and I'm like, I don't know who this guy is, so.
Yeah. That's another guy. Like, this is another thing you need Clone Wars for.
Okay. So yeah, they come here, and he was like, yeah, these other clones are having problems with him. I've seen it before. I need you guys to come meet me here, and I'll get you fixed up.
Yep.
And as soon as they get there, Wrecker goes off the deep end. Good soldiers follow orders.
Watching him break down like that was really upsetting. Was
Yeah,
that the
dude.
part that, like, made you cry?
No.
Okay.
No. We're getting close to it, though.
Yeah, I think I know what part it is then.
You probably do. So then it becomes this whole like cat and mouse thing because he is chasing Omega. He's now trying to capture her for the Empire and shit, and like do
Yeah.
the bounty and stuff.
Ugh.
And this whole like, so this process is you basically like go into like a little CAT scan kind of thing, and this like
Yeah.
robot stuff removes the chip, but they don't know if this place is still functional enough to do it.
Right.
So they're like, we gotta wait and see. And this is when I almost started crying
Okay.
because they pull Wrecker out and he like won't wake up. And they're
Yeah.
like, his vitals have not stabilized. It could be hours or so. And they're like, okay, well, let's go. And so Hunter goes like, Omega, let's go. And she's like, no, I'm going to
Wow.
sit right fucking here until he
Yeah.
gets up. And she pulls up a chair and she sits with that man for like 6 hours. And I was like,
Yeah.
nice kid. Love this
Way to
kid.
go.
Because they also have a tradition together that after every successful mission, they get like bonbons and just eat them like crazy together.
That little, like,
It's so
popcorn
cute.
cantina snack or whatever.
Yeah, I loved it.
So cute.
So anyway, he wakes up, so they know it works, and they remove the inhibitor chip from the other 3 of them. Everything's good
Yes.
to go.
And this is by way of, the medical droid AZ, right? He's there to help?
No, he's not there.
Okay.
Okay, well, so Omega has this robot named AZ.
Yeah.
He gets stun gunned episode 1, and then she leaves with the Bad Batch on their ship, and
Uh-huh.
like we don't see him again for like ever.
And AZ, was another big player in Clone Wars as well. He helped to remove Rex's chip.
Okay. Well, yeah, it's not her AZ. It might be another like AZ robot, but
Okay.
it's not hers
Okay.
because like they haven't seen each other until like towards the end here.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's some robot there, but it's not this one. So they pull the chips out of the other 3 people, and like everything's good. And then this is when I did cry.
Oh,
You ready?
ready.
This was my moment. Out of the whole show, and I'm going to say that now, out of the whole show, this was my moment. Nothing came close to this moment for me. But Wrecker starts to apologize to Omega for how he freaked out and stuff.
Yeah.
And that's when I was saying nobody comes close to that level of Hunter is just the badass dude.
Yeah.
That's it.
He's very one note, even in his parenting
Yeah.
segments.
Tech,
Just like,
just smart dude.
yeah.
Echo, I'm just a fucked up dude. Right? But Wrecker goes from bombastic to like, I can help people to I made this kid a room to I tried to hurt you, kid, and I'm an awful human and I'm very sad with my life. And
Yeah.
I was and she's like, it's okay, it wasn't you. And he goes, no, it was me. But I didn't mean it. And I was like, Wrecker, you're such a lovely man. And I
Sweet
fucking
baby.
I'm like half crying now.
Oh,
He felt so like I just love him. He's a
yeah.
big teddy bear. And
He is.
he's the only one that gave me anything else but like their one characteristic.
Yeah.
And that was my moment when he I mean, it was such just a I'm so sad about what I did. And like he felt so bad, and I felt bad because he felt so bad.
I know.
You
Can
know,
we talk for a second about how D. Bradley Baker carries this series on his big,
because
broad
he's
voice acting shoulders?
everybody.
He's everybody. He is all of the clones in this show, all of the clones in Clone Wars, and he manages to give all of these literal clones the same person. He manages to give each one a distinctive personality and style of speech and
Yeah,
just like different inflections and affectations in every single character he does. And the man is a genius and a talent, and we don't deserve
yeah.
him.
It's like I honestly didn't even know that until you pointed it
Yeah,
out at some point. I was
it
like, "Is he?" And I was like, "Oh, it is him,
he
just a
really
little
is.
different."
Yes.
Yeah, it's
He's a
really cool.
little different in every single clone, and they all sound like different people. He brings so much depth to the clones. He
Yeah,
brings them to life.
it's amazing.
Yeah.
And as we found out, he's normally just a background animal noise character
He's
person.
he's really good at animal noises.
So that was interesting to find out that he's like 15 of the same person, but they're all different.
Yeah.
So then the next one, they just got all the chips out, and Crosshair has learned that they are on this planet, and he's there to come murder them
Yes.
because they're like, "Hey, you're awesome at what you do, so go murder elsewhere. Go kill your old team." And he's like, "You fucking got it, dude."
No problem.
So he runs out there to kill them, and he gets fucked up in this episode.
He does. I thought that he might die in this episode.
Yeah, he like gets them trapped in one of the ship's engines, and he's
Yes.
like, "Turn on the engine and just burn them up."
Whoa.
See, the show goes hard,
It
dude.
does.
Like
That's like
some of the shit in it, you're like, this is not nice.
no, it's wildly
This
violent.
seems real. Like
Yeah.
if I had you trapped in there, it's probably what I'd say to do too. It's the most effective way to get rid of you.
Yeah,
It
I
makes
guess.
sense.
Hurts the conscience, but,
I mean, if I'm just here to get you, you know.
Ugh.
So, yeah, he turns on the ship, and of course, they get out of every situation that they can, and they find a way to like break the like compartment that they're in off the ship. So it falls off as the engine goes live, and it just sprays literal flames on the side of his face, just like burns the shit out of him from across the
Yeah.
way.
Yeah, Richard and I were like, "Oh, he's not surviving this one. That's Crosshair. He done."
Like just picture you're sitting behind a jet engine, and you know when like the little blue flame comes out, guys, but like you're just like 100 yards away, just feeling that like fire just blow into your face.
Yeah.
That's what was happening to him, but on a galactic ship, like huge fire. Oh yeah, it like burned the whole side of his face. He got
He was crispy.
Yeah, he got mangled. Um, that was a wild one.
Yeah. He made it out. He survived.
He did. He's never gonna go anywhere.
No.
So then that's when we get another bounty hunter that comes into the show.
Yes. Okay. So this guy you would recognize and be super excited for if you watch Clone Wars and Rebels because he's all over Clone Wars. His name is Cad Bane. He is, I believe he's a Derosian. I believe.
Okay.
Um, just like a bug dude.
I mean,
But
I didn't even know what a Twi'lek was until you told me. I mean, I don't know species names.
oh my god. Yeah, you don't see a whole lot of this guy. He looks kind of like a Chiss. Like a Chiss, do you know who Thrawn is?
No.
No, Thrawn's in Clone Wars and Rebels. Or is it just Clone Wars? I don't know. It's beside the point. But he looks kind of
Okay.
Chiss-like, but he's Derosian, the blue skin, the red eyes.
Okay.
Um, but man, yeah, you don't see a whole lot of these guys. I would love to see a live action Cad Bane. I would kill to see a live action Cad Bane.
So the one thing that I ask you, actually, let me blow up his picture so you guys can get a better look
Yeah.
at him.
Bring in
The
that hat.
the one thing that I asked you was how come no matter what medium you ever step into, there is always a gunslinger cowboy.
Someone's gotta be rootin' and someone's gotta be tootin'.
Because Mortal Kombat has a cowboy character.
Do
Like,
they?
yeah, like there's a guy that's just like a cowboy. Like
Okay.
there's always one. There's always just
Always one
one
cowboy.
gunslinging cowboy in something,
Yeah,
you know?
yes. Cad Bane is so, like,
Is it
he
just because it's
doesn't
so we're still just so drawn to the whole cowboy thing.
we are as a society, you know? Like, it's one of those tropes that is so classic and that you can just recognize with a few beats. Like, he's got this weird Western accent that, like, why would it
Yeah.
exist? Texas isn't a thing in Star Wars.
Yeah.
Like,
Like
so
you're gonna tell me way out in the galaxy somewhere with these blue people with red eyes, they all talk like they're from the South, you know?
but they don't. Like, it's just a Cad Bane thing. Yeah, he's just like the cowboy Derosian, and I
He
think
like
he
found an old John Wayne movie
yeah, basically.
floating in space, and he was like, "I'm gonna be that guy."
Yes. I love Cad Bane. He's so cool. Like, you see him, he has a couple of really good arcs in Clone Wars, and you see him, like, his intentions develop and stuff, and just
Yeah.
to the way they introduce him in this show, like, at where it stands in Clone Wars, you don't know what happened to him. This
Okay.
is a spoiler, but I don't think you're gonna care. It appears that he dies in Clone Wars.
Okay.
And so when you see this dude, you hear the Western music and his, like, fucking spurs, and he walks up, and the camera does this slow pan of, like, his boots all the way up to his hat. Like, once we got to the belt, I was clutching Richard, and I was like, "That's Cad Bane! That's Cad
Oh
Bane!"
my god.
So, he didn't die. He's here. Um,
I like him because he makes her look like nothing.
yes, yes, it was so much fun to watch the 2 of
Like
them fight.
that's the thing. I was like, I don't really remember much about her because she didn't do anything.
Yeah.
This guy is a badass, okay?
He comes in with, like, the swagger and the whole theme, and it's just
Well, no.
he's
He does he fucking has tools and
yes.
weapons and he uses them all effectively,
Yes,
like big
that's Cad
time.
Bane's thing, like, he's got if there's a problem, he has a tool for it. He's got the solution in his little utility belt.
Well, it felt like Fennec was but they did say she was a new hunter in the market.
Yeah, she is.
So she's not as hardcore yet.
Right.
Like
So,
it seems like she's trying to get the job done. This guy gets the job done. Does
yeah,
that
he's
make
like the
sense?
grizzled old Doberman, and she's like
Yeah.
the little puppy who's new to the dog
He
park.
does shit.
Yeah.
Like that's why I was about him because I was like, "Oh, I can't fuck with this dude. Like he's not fun. He's business." And he
Yeah.
was business. I liked him though.
Business. Yes. And
I
his
did
robot's played by
like
Seth Green.
I know. And I loved how Omega got over on him trying to help him out and then she just turned him off like, "You stupid ass." But so
Oh, man.
she escapes from him cuz he does capture Omega. He starts to fulfill the bounty that's out on her.
Yep.
And she escapes. Bad Batch comes in. They grab her. And then him and Fennec get in like a whole thing. And that's when she's like, the kid got away. And you find out that that whole bounty was by the Camino people.
Yeah.
The one scientist was like, "I need her back." And she's like, she's with the batch, so it's good enough. Fennec, you can stop. And she goes, "All right." And then she's not on the show again.
Yep.
And he's just not around because they fucked his ship up and he's got nowhere to go.
Yeah.
So good. He can be stranded. But I loved him. He was amazing.
I hope to see more of him in season 2.
So then we go to like a little then okay, there was this one. Yeah, this is coming into play. We were talking about how Omega pretty much has to stay on the ship. Like you're a kid.
Yes. Uh-huh.
Do that only. They leave her behind to go do a mission or whatever, and it turns out that Omega also has a little characteristic that nobody realized. She's like a master tactician. Like she can strategy your ass,
Yeah.
right? And so Sid kind of sees her displaying that when she's watching these people play that chess game that,
Yes.
you always let the Wookiee win.
Wizard chess.
And she's like, let's see what you can do. And they run their whole mission. They come back, and Sid has this girl, this 9-year-old girl, taking the entire town's money in this fucking chess game. And she has earned like the 3 million to pay off their debt to her.
Yeah.
And I was like, this kid's dope. I
He's
love this
very
kid.
cool.
So Sid's like, Hunter, you need to treat this kid with respect. Like,
Yeah.
she's a cool kid. And they kind of jumped on her, and he goes, you know what? How about this? Let's sit down and play a game. He's like, because I'm pretty smart too. He goes,
Yep.
how about this? I win. You stay on the ship when I tell you to stay on the ship. You win. You're free to do whatever you want. You are a full member. And they start the game, and you never see what happens.
I know.
But she never has to sit on the ship again, so she kicked his fucking ass.
You know she did.
She
She probably got him
nailed
like
him.
3 moves. Checkmate.
Yep. And I love that you don't even watch the game. You just know she won because of how she's treated now with the group.
Yeah.
He made a deal, he stuck to the deal, And
Yes.
I loved that. And I thought that was amazing. So that's another part when like Omega was really coming up for me, because I was like, yeah, she is badass. Like, let her be badass. you know
Badass.
then you get the little two-parter. There's stuff with Hera, which is
Yes.
another Clone Wars person, you said. I think
Rebels.
Rebels.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you would have cared. I'm curious what your thoughts are on this arc as a person who knows nothing about like this character. Like, did you care at all?
It's like political stuff, so not really, no.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
The only
It's
thing I cared about one thing, because there was a clone who was like tasked to. He had like helped out these people fight for their freedom before,
uh-huh.
and then the Empire comes in, and he's a clone, so he works for them, and so he kind of like turns on him, and like he's bad now, right? Because
Yeah.
he's like against the people that he freedom fought with.
Right.
And it turns out he actually is on their side. He's trying to like get them out of the prison cells and stuff, like behind the Empire's back and stuff.
Yeah.
And then at the
Do you
very
remember?
end, he comes out to his other clone people and is like, "We don't need to follow the Empire. The Empire sucks." He's like, "Who's gonna join me?" And like a couple of them do, and he willingly
Yeah.
goes to jail with those clones to stand for what he believes in, because he's a badass clone, and I like him.
I do too. I'm trying to remember if we know who that clone is. Do you have a name for him?
Captain Hauser.
Okay. Yeah. I
So
don't
he's
remember if there's
just from this, probably.
I think so. There might be some more about
Okay.
him in Clone Wars or Rebels, but I can't recall. But yeah, so Hera and her little robot Chopper, they're like really big characters also in Rebels.
Okay. Uh, that's like my favorite robot of all time.
Chopper?
I love
Oh my
Chopper
god.
because he just goes. "Bop, bop, 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 bop."
That's his
He's
whole character.
Yeah, he's the fucking coolest robot ever. I loved him.
Oh my god, you should see him in
I loved
Rebels,
him.
dude. He's fucking rude. That's
Oh
his
man.
characteristic. He's rude. That's his entire
Plus,
personality.
plus these little arms come out of his head, and he just goes blah 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 blah. Ah, it's so funny, dude. No, he was like my favorite robot of the show,
Yeah,
like
he's like
hands
artsy but
down.
spicier.
Yeah, I loved him.
He's pretty good.
I liked Hera. I didn't care about like her parents or any of that shit.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't care about what was going on that planet. I mean, like, it's occupation and like hostile takeover and stuff, and I understand that. And it's sad and shit,
Yeah.
But like, what I cared about was how Hera is the daughter, and she's like the only person that's still trying to like kind of be a freedom fighter. She's not trusting these Empire people that are coming in,
Yes.
where her parents are trying to like play diplomacy and be nice and all that stuff, and it
Yeah.
bites him in the ass.
Right.
But like she wants to learn how to fly, and no one will let
Yes.
her fly yet. And then she meets
Poor Hera.
Omega, and it's like, oh, you're the only kid I've ever met that seems kind of cool. And they make this friendship. And so her and Omega, their friendship, and how Omega got to empower her and let her be the person she wanted to be.
Yeah.
That's what I liked in this 2-part arc.
Uh, it's so good. Like, I need
Like
you to see Rebels so bad now.
like everything else I didn't really care about.
Yeah.
I cared about Hera and Omega and how Omega opened the door for her to be, because Omega's door is open to that. She's allowed to do
Yeah.
that now. She won her
Right.
chess game. She's empowered to be that person. And
Yes.
Hera's still, you're my child and my daughter. You can't do that shit yet. And she got to prove with Omega's help, I'm a badass kid.
Yeah.
That's what
Hera
I
in
liked.
Rebels is, like, estranged from her family, and she is a freedom fighter, like, that's what Rebels is all about, is she's
Yeah.
leading this band of rebels, and, they're going around the galaxy, like, doing cool shit and jailbreaking good people,
Okay.
essentially. So, um, yeah,
Yeah.
Hera really like, Omega is kind of the linchpin for Hera to say, like, "This is why I am who I am today." So it was
Yeah.
really cool to see Dave Filoni, like, pull back on that and be like, "Why is Hera such a badass? Because she met
Yeah.
this other little badass."
Yeah. See, that was awesome.
Yeah.
So that 2-parter, it was, and that's when I feel like we were getting like badass again.
Yes.
So Crosshair's there, and the Bat shows up because they were just delivering weapons to. So Hera's uncle, he was like, I still don't trust this shit, so like I'm gonna stockpile guns and stuff so that we can fight
Right.
people when we need to, because it's gonna happen.
Yes.
And the Batch are the people that happen to be delivering the guns because they bought them from Sid. So Omega just kind of met Hera for like 5 minutes. They just like had a little fun thing. But then Hera's parents get framed for the murder of this like
Diplomat or
politician.
something.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and she's like, "Uh oh, I'm gonna call Omega because she said that she would help me." And Omega
Yeah.
fucking gets in Hunter's grill,
Yes.
and he's like, "No, we gotta help people. Helping's what we do, Hunter." And so they go back. Oh, well, yeah. And that's when that also furthers that chess game, because she's
Yeah.
like, this is what we're going to do. And he goes, fine.
He's just like,
No.
"If you say so."
He goes, no. Give me the plan then.
Yeah.
What's the plan? And she lays out a plan, and he goes, it's a bomb plan. Let's do it then. He buys into her plan. He wasn't going to go in just like, oh, because the kid said so.
Yeah.
No, show me that brain. Prove to me this is going to work because you're awesome. And she
Right.
did. And he goes, all right, let's do it then. And that's when I was like, yes, Hunter, you love this kid. And they go and get the parents out and do all the stuff. And it was awesome. So that was
Yes.
a cool little arc. Then we got like the last three. Well, this one was kind of like whatever. Um, Roland Durand. Does that name mean anything to you, or is he just from this one?
Right. I don't remember him.
Somebody comes in and takes over Sid's bar, and it's just
Oh,
them kind of being closer with Sid, and you're kind of finding out Sid is actually good people, and they help
yeah.
her get her bar back and frame the dude and get him sent on his way.
Yeah, I don't know if I know that guy. He's just like a gang leader or something. The
Yeah,
way he cuts off that, fucking
his
what are those
horn.
guys' names? The horns? Shit, what are those guys called? They look like little
Um,
devils.
yeah, it. I told you I don't do. Uh,
Deveronians, that's what they're
why do
called.
you know these things?
Star Wars.
Like I don't know any of this stuff. I know Wookiees, Gungans,
Admittedly, I learned a lot of these races when I
and
started playing
Twilight
Swatter.
stuff. Okay.
There's, like, a
Well,
lot
yeah,
of
because you
options in Swatter.
probably get to choose the people too, right? You get to be like, I
Well,
want to be this.
you do for some, but then, like, you have some companions that, like, join you throughout your journey depending on whoever you whatever class you play, and
Okay.
there's a bunch of different races that they introduce.
Okay.
So, Deveronian is one of those, but,
Do you know what a pike is then?
that's a bike gang, right?
They look like kind of weird robot people because they're the people that they were like, you don't want to fuck with them. They'll like mess you up, and they cut off his horn and stuff.
Yeah, they're a gang.
Okay, well, yeah, because they seem very like, you agreed to this, you didn't meet that, you die now.
Yeah, like mafia style people.
Yeah, they were hard. They
Yeah,
were
that was
hardcore.
really fucked up when they cut off his horn. I was like, "Oh,
I
sad."
mean, yeah, so that one's just kind of like a fun thriller one because it's kind of like a heist. Let's like take his spices so he can't get them what they need, but there's also
Yeah.
these like bugs in this cave, and we dropped all the spice in there, and now we have to go back for
Oh,
it.
you also see Trace and Rafa Martez, right?
Yeah,
Yes, they play another part in, Clone Wars. So there's a part where, Ahsoka is kind of on the run from the Jedi Temple because she's like, "I don't fucking know who I am anymore,"
okay,
and she encounters Trace and Rafa, and they kind of have a little bit of an
okay,
arc together for a while.
yeah,
So they're a cool bunch. They're troubled. They're 2 sisters,
the
and
troubled.
they are troubled. It's 2 sisters who don't have parents anymore, like, their parents were killed by the Empire or the Republic or something, and, they just
Okay,
have, like, political conflicts and don't trust Jedis, and it's very dramatic.
gotcha. Okay, so then they do that. That one was like kind of a little fun one, but then okay, so then we get, and this is when, so episode 14 here is when it was like super hardcore stun gun city stuff. They were told by Rex, like, hey, we need you to go break out this guy. I'm in the middle of a firefight right now at the moment, so just go.
Yeah.
And then he leaves.
It just, like, disappears into the smoke.
Yeah. So they go to this place, and they're going to break out these clone commandos that have been imprisoned there.
Yeah.
And that's where Hunter gets left behind
Right.
and taken back to Camino because he got kidnapped and Crosshair currently has him.
Yeah.
Then you get, boom, the final 2 episodes.
Yes.
So they go back to Camino. The Bad Batch goes back to Camino to get Hunter and break him out.
Right.
And when they get there, basically, it has come to a final head with the whole clone production thing. We are not pursuing this.
Yeah, so as they're on their way there too, like, they take him back to Camino, and the guys are wondering, like, why are they going back to Camino? Is it a trap? Do they want us back on Camino specifically for some reason?
Yeah,
And, of course, they're trying to get Omega back, so that's why they wanna bring her back to Camino to bring her back to the scientists,
yeah,
but and then
and
they essentially are just like, "We know it's a trap, we have to get Hunter anyway," so they
yeah,
admit that they're just gonna do it anyway.
and that's when you find out that Omega was there when the Bad Batch were created, when their batch was grown and worked on, and she's like, I saw you guys get made, like literally watched you get made,
Yeah.
and I liked you guys, so that's why I've looked for you ever since you grew up. And she's like, we're like the same age, by the way. Like, like we're not that far off,
It's
which
such a
I thought was so weird.
strange dynamic because, like, the whole show, it's her 4 dads, essentially, and then
Yeah.
you come to learn that she's kind of their mother in a way. Like, she helped
Yeah.
to create them.
Yeah. Which
She was there
I,
at their inception.
yeah, I think it's cool because we got Boba Fett, who was like the only other kid to grow up, and it turns out now there's Omega, you know?
Yeah.
Because like Boba Fett and her are basically brother sister
Yeah.
in a way. I mean, technically they're clones of each other, just one's a girl and one's a boy,
Right.
which I think is cool.
I do too.
So they go there. The Camino people are done. We're not picking up your stuff. I'm pretty sure they were gonna wipe out the majority of them, and they just kept the one scientist one.
Yeah, it seems that's kind of the plan. They were like, "We're kind of done with all the clones and all the scientists who made them, except for this one. We want
Yeah,
this lady."
yeah, we're gonna use her for something.
I think her name was Nala Se. She's that
Yes,
fucking long necked lady.
yeah, she's in red and all the rest are in blue, so she's like the
Yeah,
standout one.
right.
But so Omega brings him in there, which is like a back door to the Camino facility,
Yes. The secret
and
tunnel.
secret tunnel. um, they get back into the Camino area, everything's going on, and it turns out like everyone's evacuated, all the clones are gone, everything's shut down, and you watch like the last of the Empire people get on their ship to leave, and he's like, "Yeah, we're done with this other clone too. Like, no clones. We're
Yeah.
done with that. So let's destroy this place." So they
Fucking
leave all the Bad Batch, Crosshair,
it.
everybody on there, and they just unload from their fucking Star Destroyers and literally blow the whole place to fucking shit.
What are your emotions looking at this picture?
I don't really have any.
Oh
I
my
don't.
god.
I don't care about this place. It's where they made clones. It's whatever
It's such an
because it's done
important
now.
facility and, like, oh my god, just, like, the way that it's
I mean, it's. I mean, it makes sense because the Empire's never gonna want somebody to be able to do what they had previously paid people to do. They don't ever want
yeah,
another race of people to be grown to fight up against them.
right.
So it's standard wipe away what we've already done stuff, you know?
Yeah. I
And I
do
mean,
love
it like created bad things from it. So this going,
yeah,
I feel kind of like this is fine. This is probably a good thing.
okay. Yeah, I think just the way also that it's animated, man, like, this series has a way with animation, it makes things look grandiose, like,
Oh yeah.
the scale that this thing is I keep wanting to say filmed or shot, you know, the scale that it's, like, filmed
Yeah.
on, the scenery is so ambitious. They
Yeah.
do so much with the backgrounds and the backdrops and, like, watching this enormous facility just explode in the rain and the waves, like, so much is happening in this
Yeah.
scene, and it's so dramatic and so devastating, and, like, Omega's watching her home go down, the clones are seeing their birthplace go up in flames, it's really
I don't think
intense.
they care.
I think that,
I don't
like
know that they hold anything because they were just like, oh yeah, our room's still here. And the
I
only thing they cared about was the mission counter on the wall.
yeah,
He was like, oh, our thing's still here. That's so cool.
man, I was looking up, like, stuff after watching the show, like, nods that hardcore Star Wars fans may have missed or whatever, and,
Okay.
like, there's some random stuff in there that, like, I would never have picked up on, like, just random tiny little details, and on
Yeah.
that wall where they do all their markers and stuff, they had just finished mission 66, so that's like,
Oh my god.
Order
Okay.
66, see,
That's funny.
yeah, but,
So yeah, they
nah, just,
get blown
like
up, and then it basically turns into the Saint Anne episode of Pokemon because they fall to the bottom of the ocean and now they got to get out.
okay.
You don't remember that one? Did you ever
I didn't
watch
watch
the Pokemon
Pokemon.
show? Oh
No.
man. What about the Poseidon Adventure?
Oh, okay.
Well, so that episode is directly just the Poseidon Adventure movie, but with Pokemon on board.
Alright.
Yeah, they like get on a ship that flips upside down, and then they sink to the bottom of the ocean, and they have to break out of the ship, or else
Oh my god.
Ash and them are gonna drown and die.
Okay.
Pretty hardcore for a kids show.
Yeah, I mean, that's kinda what happens here too, is, like, the whole ship goes down and they're ugh, the whole time you're just it's just dealing with, like, a problem, and then you have another problem that arises because of it, and then another problem
Yeah.
arises when you fix that one. So it's just a series of, like, how are we going to get out, but broken
Well,
down into, like, get to point A, get to point
I
B, get to
just
point
don't
C.
like water shit. Like it's
Oh,
always water filling up, and you're gonna drown and die, and sucks,
yes.
man.
Oh.
So they fall to the bottom of the ocean and they get
Yep,
separated. So you get
yeah,
Omega and Crosshair together,
which is
which
dangerous.
actually, with her little buddy,
Eh,
this is a AZ, which you said is
yes.
in. Now, this robot is in Clone Wars or something? Or is
Yes,
it
this
a
particular
version of
robot.
him? Okay.
No, it's him.
Okay. Um, so this was like early on in the show. So this bot is with Omega. That's like her
Her little
partner
bestie,
in crime.
basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, they grow up together essentially, like, he's been there for her. He's her medical assistant because she's a medical assistant herself in the
Yeah.
facility. So,
And
they're coworkers.
they fucking tase him episode 1 and then we never
Yeah,
see this dude again.
Yeah.
until they come back to Camino, and he's just like, "Oh yeah, I've just been bored all this time.
Yep.
It's it's been scary here."
Poor guy.
So they come back. Now he's trapped on the side with her and Crosshair. He helps her get him out because he's like buried under rubble and shit. And she helps
Yeah.
him. And you're like, oh, maybe he's going to be like, you're saving me. Oh, I like you now, you know? But he
Yeah.
never gives a shit about nothing.
Nope.
And that part was intense because like their side's like filling up. And
Yes.
Wrecker and them are on the other side, completely dry. And they're like, he's stabbing his knife in the door trying to break it
Oh,
open, and they just like funnel in real fast and shit.
so intense. Like that scene, it felt like it was 30 minutes long. It was maybe
Yeah,
3 minutes, but like Wrecker's trying to just pry open the doors and like water
yeah,
is shooting through and he gets it open just enough to where like Omega comes fucking barreling through and
it's
Crosshair right behind
intense.
her. I thought, okay, so there's like a part where AZ is like, "Well, you're gonna drown if you stay in here, but I'll be fine. I'll be
Oh yeah,
lonely, but I'll be fine." And I was like, "Please don't leave AZ in here just for the rest of forever," because
I
that would be
loved
a really
him.
sad fate for a robot to just be like stuck in the bottom of the ocean at the in a coffin, essentially,
With
a big
your dead
water-filled
body
coffin. Yeah,
of like
pretty
his best
terrible.
friend that he watched grow up, you know? But
Yeah,
anyway,
but
so
anyway.
that line actually did make me laugh like really hard. He
Oh my
he's like
god.
he's like, you guys should probably figure it out because I'll be fine, but you guys will not be okay.
Yeah, AC is
He's
constantly
funny.
giving them the odds and constantly being like, "Well, now we have a new problem." He's kind of the
Yeah,
story beats of these 2 episodes, just kind of moving everything along.
yeah. And so they kind of make it to their backdoor entrance where they came in from, where the Bad Batch was grown and all that stuff, because they weren't grown in the facility with everybody else. They had their own
Right.
special lab where they were grown.
Yes.
So now they're all hanging out in there, and it's when they all kind of like start talking, and they're all like, you know, hashing out the world, I guess. And Crosshair's like, "You guys left me, and I'm so moody about it now."
Yeah.
And then they're like, "Well, your fucking chip is all messed up. Like you were trying to kill us." And he's like, "I had my chip removed a long time ago."
Yeah, so this is the reveal that I was talking about in the beginning. You're led to believe that the chip is what's making him being like, "Good soldiers follow orders," but it's not.
But is it not?
No,
Because well,
he's
see,
just doing that of his own volition, like,
I
he's
don't know though.
yeah,
Like
like
I think he got it removed a long time ago after then, but we
yeah,
can't.
probably.
But we can't. Well, like I think that's what started it was the chip, and then he got it removed later and stuck with the Empire. I
Yeah.
don't think he went good soldiers in episode 1.
No, yeah, I think that he had the chip at
Okay.
that time, and then
Yes.
between then and now has had it removed
Yeah,
and
yeah, yeah.
is
And
still
still with them. Yeah.
yeah, he's
Okay.
still choosing to be like, "I am part of the Empire now, and I have to kill you."
Yeah. So, which is a whole other thing. They can't verify it because he got burned by the ship engine, and where they cut it out from is all singed, so there's no scar because they all have a scar now where theirs has been removed.
Yeah,
They can't verify whether or not he's telling the truth now.
true.
Because I was like, well, maybe I need to go back to episode 1. But I know he doesn't have the scar in episode 1 because, I mean, here he is and there's no scar.
Okay.
You know? Like, okay, I thought you were going to try to tell me he didn't have it in episode 1.
No, like, it's up to the viewer to decide pretty much, but I'm thinking that at the time of Order 66, he had the chip and it was activated, and then
Yeah.
later on it was removed for whatever reason.
Yeah. Oh, that's why I don't like him because I know that he just stayed here like a little
Yeah.
prick. But he didn't really give a reason. He's just like, I believe it. I'm in it for the
Yep.
long haul.
Just like, "This is my cause now."
Yeah, he doesn't say like, "Oh, well, they treated me good when you left me," or he didn't really say anything like that.
Yeah.
He's just kind of like, "I'm not leaving it. Like, I don't care that you guys are doing your own thing. Like, I'm going to stay here. I like
Yeah.
this." So yeah, okay. But they do knock him out at some point, and after that reveal, and Hunter does look at his head, and he turns his head, but it's all burned, and he's like, can't tell anything.
Right.
So, you know, I guess technically, because we can't verify it, we could be led to believe he still has a chip, and he's
I
not really
suppose.
choosing to stay.
Yeah, like, it's really up to the viewer to decide what Crosshair's intentions are at this
Yeah,
point. I think maybe in season 2, they're gonna reveal some more of it,
yeah,
but you never know. Oh, but between episodes, like, the last 2 episodes, when you see the, Camino facility just, like, fucking blown to shit, like, that's where the episode ends, is that explosion scene,
yeah.
and everything goes down, and I thought that they were just gonna, like, kill off the Bad Batch. I thought that this was gonna be a one-season series, like, this is all we're gonna do, and I was, like, so upset and devastated. I was like, "They're
Yeah.
all gonna die at the bottom of the ocean.
Oh my
Please look up
god.
and tell me if season 2 is happening."
So this picture right here is actually from the announcement of season 2. So,
Oh, okay.
I mean, this isn't season 2 stuff because I mean, he's pretty right here. So,
Mhm.
but so they're at the bottom of the ocean, and then in the last one, they're like, well, we can try to get out through that secret tunnel we came in from, but we're on the bottom of the ocean and there's no power anymore, so we can't ride the lift. We will have to walk through a glass tube on the bottom of the ocean.
Yep.
Who wants to go? And I love how AZ's like, yeah, you guys will probably die. And they're like, well, it's better than sitting here.
Yep.
So they all decide to go. He's welding out a hole. And then Omega comes over to Crosshair and she's like, they're your brothers. Like, you should be nice to them. And he's like, I don't like them. I can't do any of this. This is stupid. And I hate you. Don't talk to me. And she's like, I really wanted to hope that it was your chip that made you a fucking asshole, but you're just a piece of shit. And just walks
Yes.
away.
I know, yeah. So at that point, she's also when she's talking to him, she's also like, "You're their brother," and he's like, "Oh, I don't give a shit," and she's like, "Well, you're my brother too."
Yeah.
And that part, like, touched my heart because as we talked about before, like, it's 4 dads and a baby is the show, and then also you find out later that she kind of had a role in creating the Bad Batch, so she's their mom too, but
Yeah.
actually, they're all just siblings, and
Yeah.
that's their true relationship, is that they're brothers, they're sisters, they're just one and the same.
They're just family.
They're just family, and they have so many, like,
Come on,
different ways that
buddy.
they're tied together, it's truly beautiful.
Oh,
Look at that ugly man.
oh, what an ugly
Oh, look at that
boy.
ugly
Oh, so
boy.
ugly. All right.
My goodness.
Jinx is like chirping in her sleep, and he's like, I have to go take care of her. Okay.
Uh,
But yeah, I
Stepping
loved
back though.
her little speech to him. Like, no, you're just a prick.
Yeah.
I was like, I like you, Omega. Good on you.
Good on Mega. But, like, stepping back to the point where they're in the tunnel, they have there's that, like, shark, that big,
Yeah,
like
like some kind of crocodile thing.
yeah, I
Yeah,
don't remember what those guys are called, but it's like a big ass croco shark basically that comes up and is, like, actively eating the tunnel,
yeah,
and it's like, "Oh my god." I love underwater stuff in Star Wars because you don't get to see a whole lot of it, like, there's not a whole lot of water planets shown, there's a couple, like, you get to see
yeah,
Manon a little bit, and I mean, Camino just for the clone stuff, but, like, the underwater things, I
yeah.
love those. You don't get to see much of it.
And you still don't get to see much of this. He's pretty shrouded in underwater musk half the time.
Underwater
Yeah.
musk.
There's just like that haze. You don't really get to see much. Like, you get to see like a little bit,
The ocean mystery.
but like, there's not much of him.
Yeah.
And yeah, he's not on the tube, but they get just enough power to come on to electrify him off. And then he goes,
Yes.
that hurted, and he left.
I don't want that anymore, and he goes away.
So
But
they climb to the top of this other place, and they're like, well, this is it. There's nowhere else to go. We
yep,
can't do anything.
because
So
they
what
can,
do we
like,
do?
see the ship from where they are, but they can't, like,
Yeah.
get to it because they're underwater.
Yeah, they're still like way down there,
Yeah.
which I was like, do they know about like scurvy? Like, do they know how to equalize on their way up?
That's not scurvy.
Like, I would
That's
hope they know. Well, yeah. I
the
know,
bends, right?
but like they have a whole bunch of stuff that they can get, and I hope they
Yeah,
know
I
what they're
know.
doing.
Yeah, so and
But they are
also
super soldiers, so maybe they don't need to
maybe.
equalize.
So throughout this, AZ is like starting to kind of short out a little bit. He's like, I'm losing power, but I am fine.
Oh
And
yeah,
when he turns on the power just enough to electrify that shark dude, he's like, well, that was the last of my backup batteries. And he's just like running on fumes essentially. So you're watching AZ like slowly break down.
yeah,
And then, okay, so their solution to get out from this I don't know, clone template place to get
yeah.
to the top is that they're gonna load into these, like, clone tubes and blow up the facility and then just kind of float to the top in
Bob
these
up to the
clone
top,
tubes.
which
But
is
there's debris,
ingenious though.
I guess, but
You
there's
think there's not
debris.
a
The explosion is, like, creating this enormous problem for everybody, so they're gonna have to find a way to kind of maneuver their tubes through the exploded debris and stuff,
well,
and
it's not their explosion that's the problem. The Camino up top is still just falling to shit on top of
yeah,
them.
right, it's, like, actively breaking down, the
Yeah,
whole facility is coming down on top,
yeah,
so they're guiding through all of that and just the whole mess, essentially,
yeah.
so AZ is like, "Well, I have boosters on my butt that I can use to help guide your tubes as we go," and I was like, "I don't know how that's gonna work." So
Yeah, I was like, I mean, I know it helps you levitate, but is that gonna work underwater the same?
right,
But I mean, it
yeah.
did, so.
It did. So they all load up into the tubes, and I would think that they would, like, double up Omega with one of the guys because
No, let's just stuff two big dudes in a tube together.
did they stuff Crosshair in a tube by himself, or did Crosshair go with Hunter? Because there's, like, 4
Crosshair,
tubes, right?
Crosshair went with Hunter. Tech and Echo together. Wrecker did get his own because he's just too fucking big.
Yeah,
And
and then
then,
Omega by herself.
yeah,
Okay.
because Hunter and Crosshair have like a moment at the top.
Yeah.
So, sit down, buddy. So, yeah,
Yeah.
he's gonna
So
like help steer them out of falling debris.
yes, so they fucking do the whole explosion plan, and this robot is just, like, zipping around between these 4 tubes, like, "Okay, got you righted. Okay, got you righted." Like, dodging debris actively,
Yeah,
and his little eyeballs are, like, fading in and
they're
out
getting
because
so
he's
dim.
just getting so dim because he doesn't have any more power, and at this point, I'm already crying because I'm, like, worried for the fate
Oh
of
my
all of our
god.
favorite
Yeah.
characters, and also concerned for this robot that I know from Clone Wars and that I have grown to come to love in this show,
Okay.
and, like, I just
Do I need to do it now?
go ahead and do it.
Oh, isn't he so lovely?
Look at the sweet
Dead.
his fucking face. So, like, at the very end, all the clones have, like, popped up and they're fine. So Omega's the last one, and, like, this big ass piece of debris comes down and hits her.
Yeah.
And,
It just starts
uh,
like taking her all the way back down to the fucking
yeah, just,
bottom.
like, all the way back down to the bottom of the ocean, and AZ has to, like, turn around and boost down there real fast to get to her, and he's using so much power to do so, and he can't, like, lift this debris off of her to get her free.
Yeah, he's got to like spot weld it to like cut it in half and shit, which is just more power, you
It's
know.
so much. And so he finally gets her, like, free of the debris and stuff and has one last boost that he can do. He's got, like, just this much fumes left in his tank. So he's like, "Okay, my mission is accomplished." And he, like, pushes her. He's like, "You're clear to the surface," but it has killed him in the process.
No, yeah, he straight up turns off right here.
Yeah, like,
He says,
his
"My
light goes
mission is
out.
complete. I'm good." And
And
just like instant off.
I was inconsolable because this whole time Maisie is just like, "My mission is to get you to the surface. My mission is to keep you safe." And you know when a robot is like, "I have a mission and it's to keep you safe." That's the robot's death warrant.
Yeah, that's like
Like,
code for, oh, but I won't make it, but you'll be safe.
yes, that's code for don't get attached to this guy. So
So now I
naturally I
was
get attached.
like kind of sad
Oh my god,
because then
dude.
I like immediately went to pissed off
Why?
because he turns off and starts, you know, like falling to the bottom. And I was like,
Yeah.
this is sad. But then Omega goes, oh no, that's my buddy. And jumps out of her fucking tube.
Yeah, just free body in the ocean, like, out
And
in the debris field.
that's when I gasped really hard when she busted out of her tube for him, and I was like,
Me
"Girl, you
too.
can't carry this fucking 500-pound robot? You kidding me?"
Oh,
Like if he had just fell to the bottom, I'd have been sad,
yeah.
right? But he got saved, so I'm okay.
Yeah, so Omega, like, gets out of her tube and she grabs onto him, and, of course, like you said, he's a huge robot, so she's
Yeah,
falling to the
dude.
bottom of the ocean, holding on to her best friend, and, like,
And then up on the top, we got everybody popped out of their tubes, and they're like, "You jumped out of yours. What's your problem?" And then Crosshair pulls out his gun and is aiming at Hunter's face.
yeah.
And everyone's like, "Oh shit, fuck this guy." And then he kind of like turns it a little bit and shoots a little like grappling hook to AZ's chest and reels them both up. And you're
Fucking
like,
harpoons him.
"Okay, cool."
Yeah.
But what I like about that scene is when they pull him up to the top, he like turns around. Everybody else, the other three guys have their guns trained on him. Like they're
Yeah.
already ready to take him out.
Yep.
And then he just throws his gun to Wrecker and he's like, "All right, I'll just sit here and be good now.
Yep.
I did my last thing."
And that's when they
So,
have that conversation when they're like, "You can come with us. You're still our brother. Like, we
yeah.
still care for you."
And he's
And
like, "No,
he's like, "I don't give a shit."
I'm Crosshair." And so
Oh.
he decides to stay on this tiny floating platform in the middle of an ocean with nothing around,
Yeah,
and he
what are
just
you
stays there.
doing? Like, why are you staying? You could at least, like, hitch a ride to the next planet that isn't actively being deconstructed. Like,
Yeah, because you
you
think
don't have to
someone's gonna
stay.
come back to go, "Is there anybody left?" Like, no one's coming back to check on you.
I think that there was, like, Empire floating around to see if there were survivors because they wanted to make sure they got the Bad Batch,
Yeah,
but, like, why hedge your
but
bets on
still,
that?
yeah.
So,
So he sticks behind to stay with the Empire, which they'll take him in. They're like, "Damn, he really won't die."
yeah,
And he still wants us, even though we tried to kill him. That's the volunteer power we're looking for,
yep,
you know? So he's like prime Empire material.
yep,
They're going to love him. And then they take off, and there you go.
that's the end of the show.
Well, so then we see Nala Se get brought into an Imperial facility,
Yeah,
and they're all like, "Oh, we can't wait to see what work you're going to do for us. We've built you a lab. Can't wait for you to do work for us forever now." And then it just kind of
so
stops there.
you're not, explicitly told what she's going to be working on for the Empire, but it's kind of
Yeah.
hinted at that if you had watched The Mandalorian season 2, there's troopers that show up at the end of that. I think that's what she's working on, like, these
Okay.
really intense ass, like, black clone dudes.
So it is more clones. I mean, I feel like that's all Camino people understand
It's
is making
not
clones.
Yeah, it's not implicitly described if they're, like, clones or it just is, like, the next level of clone, like, the next logical step. We've made them more intense and crazier.
Okay.
So,
Are these the ones that would scream traitor at people and
no.
stuff? Okay.
What are the names of these guys? Let me see if I can find it real quick. I don't know if it's the TK troopers or not. It's like, um, it's at the end of the Mandalorian season 2. Mandalorian season 2 clones.
Clones?
They are well,
Why you
no,
do
I can't
that?
find it. I don't want to waste time trying to look for that, but it's that's my theory is that that's what she's building.
Okay. I want to see if this is a thing. I kind of like saw something while I was looking stuff up earlier, and I want to see if this is really a thing.
Okay. What is it?
It apparently is. There are Bad Batch Funko Pops.
Oh my god.
So there's Hunter. Here's old Crosshair.
And they have their helmets on.
I
One
like how these
thing
look.
They're pretty cool. I like them with the helmets because you don't have to look at their terrifying eyes.
Oh,
One
so
thing I
there's
do
only
like
these
about
three. Okay.
oh, who do they have? Crosshair, Wrecker, and Hunter?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Well,
Echo and
no,
Tech.
because then there's tech right here. So
Oh, yeah.
yeah, so they must have more.
I'm surprised they don't have an Omega.
Oh, and there's e- Echo because there's his little arm.
Yeah.
Which can I say he was probably the most useful person on the team because he could just
Echo?
hack it. Yeah, he could hack into all the things R2 style
Yeah.
all the time. Okay, and these are like out, so you can get
Okay.
these now. Would you get a full set of Bad Batch pops?
No.
Why not?
I don't
Look at him. Look at
see,
Ulrika.
I just don't like the burden of having pops.
I
You
mean,
know,
it is a horrible thing.
like where do you put them? I don't have any place to put pops.
You
I
have
have
to invent a spot.
yeah, I don't have space for them.
Oh, but look at him.
Oh, he's cool. Look at
He's so
him.
nice. I
I
love his
love
helmet.
Wrecker. I do
Yeah.
too. What are those symbols? Is it ever explained?
No. I don't think
I don't
anything
see
about
it.
them is really explained for like their looks.
Yeah.
It's just kind of what it is. Oh, I
Um,
like it though.
one thing about helmets though, the Bad Batch never wears their helmets when they're like on the Camino facility. Did you notice that?
Yeah.
They just like hang out with their helmets on their arms or whatever, and like every other clone around them has their helmets on.
Now see, my thing, all right, cuz I have a problem with Disney and superhero things now because they won't keep
Yes.
helmets on people, right? They actually do wear theirs a lot of the time though, like when they're out
When
doing
they're out
things.
in the battle, yeah, but whenever they're around amongst other
Yeah.
clone, in order to set themselves apart, they don't wear their helmets, and that's an intentional thing.
But see, that's what I liked about Tech. You could actually see his eyes through the helmet. Like he had like a clear lens.
Yeah,
So you still got that human
right.
element with him. So I liked his helmet when he was wearing his a lot of the time. But yeah, they are a good batch of guys. And
Yes, they
now
are.
I like them a bit more with the whole stun gun, don't want to kill my people.
Yeah.
Plus I like their armor. The like dark armor that's on them
Yes.
that also sets them apart from their brothers.
They just have a cool aesthetic, man.
Yeah, they're fucking neat. Look at them. Like you can't mix them up.
No.
They definitely stand out. So now that we know season 2 is coming,
Yes.
all that good stuff, what do you rate this show? I'm going to say, what do you rate it in the overall Star Wars stuff? Is it
Oh, and
like
the
one of your,
overall Star Wars stuff?
yeah, is it one of your favorite Star Wars things you've seen? Is it just like, oh no, it's good, but it's not as good as everything else?
I tend to like the shows better than the movies because
Yeah.
I just like TV better than movies in general. But
Well, the movies are about Jedis. The
yeah.
shows are not really about Jedis,
Yeah, like there's not a Jedi to be seen in the Bad Batch. Like
except for a dead one,
right.
and then a kid that
Oh,
makes his escape.
yeah.
I think you're more of a clone person.
I
I
do love the
think
clones.
I think your Star Wars interests lie in clones and how that affects the like dynamic of the universe.
See, what's funny is that, like, I hate Jango Fett and Boba Fett. I don't like them. I
Yeah,
think that as characters, they're so boring, but all the clones, they're so interesting.
yeah,
But, yeah, so I would rate the show, okay, so Rebels is better than Clone Wars. I think
okay,
Bad Batch is on par with, maybe skewing a little bit better than Clone Wars.
okay. I mean, I've pretty much just seen the movies.
Yeah,
I basically don't count the new trilogy at all because it didn't
yeah,
exist really.
no.
Um, I'd say this is probably my favorite, right underneath the original trilogy.
Okay,
I mean, the prequels are good.
yeah,
I mean, they're just, oh, here's how Darth Vader became a thing.
Right.
you know. So I like this because it's not here's how a thing became a thing. It's just a
I
good
mean,
story. Well,
there's
this isn't like trying to teach you where a character we know already came from. This
it
is these
does.
people.
Yeah, it does focus on the Bad Batch in and of itself. Like, there's a lot of little minor characters that, get nodded to throughout the season. It's
Yeah.
like, "Ah, this guy's from Clone Wars, that guy's from Rebels, this guy's from wherever."
Yeah,
But,
but we're not waiting for the end of the show to go, okay, that's where Boba Fett became a thing.
right.
Like this is their story. This
It
is
is a
their
standalone.
thing. You know, like
Yeah,
the prequels exist solely to give us how Darth Vader became Darth Vader.
right.
There's other stuff in it, but the whole premise of 1, 2 and 3 is to go here's why Darth Vader exists.
Yeah,
It's the premise of it. The premise of this is not here's how this person's here that we already know. This is their story, and I like these people.
yeah.
And I want more of them.
Yes, I'm so excited for season 2. I don't know when it will happen. Season 1 dropped May the 4th, so
Yeah,
we'll see.
I will go on another rating. I give it like an 8. I think it's really good.
Okay, that's fair.
I I mean, it's no Steven. It's not a 10.
Yeah.
I'm really tempted to go with a 9 cuz there's not much wrong with it. Like it's a
Yeah,
tight show. It's a tight
it is.
show.
I I would give it like a 9, maybe 9.5 just because it's not perfect by any means. There's still open questions that I'm sure Dave Filoni is going to resolve in further seasons down the line.
Yeah.
So,
Um you know what? I'm going to go ahead and hit the 9 because they gave me a kiwi.
okay.
Like the show's probably a 7. Omega makes it a 9.
Okay. That's
She
fair.
alone carries the show for me. Love
Yeah,
her.
I do love her.
Like the show's really about her.
It is.
It's like not even about the badge.
It's pretty much a coming
She's
of
what it
age
is.
tale,
Yeah.
but like in war.
Yeah, and I just want to see what she brings to this universe cuz
I
she's the thing I
ooh,
like.
I kind of want to hope for a time jump so like we see Omega as a teenager next.
Yeah.
I think that would be fun. See her like at 15, 16 in that ballpark.
Cuz like I really think she's like 10.
Yeah, she's pretty darn young.
How old is Omega in Bad Batch?
They did a time jump in Rebels that was pretty successful.
Yeah.
So I think if they can mimic that, it would be good.
Let's see. Like, I'd really like to know an age.
It's ever explicitly said she is this many years old, but I'm sure it's out there in the lore somewhere. Someone can identify she was created at this point.
Yeah, I'm on Wikipedia,
That's where you go.
and there's nothing here just about her age. They have her height, but that's about it.
Okay, how tall is she? 4'10"?
She is roughly 1.1 meters,
That tells me
whatever that
nothing,
is.
Star Wars.
Hey, that's what we got. We deal in
Okay.
meters, not feet. Okay, this is Star Wars.
Okay.
Uh, but yeah, I mean, I for some reason I was under the impression she was like 9 years old, like
Yeah,
9 or 10,
that's about what I get from her.
at the most 11.
Yeah,
Like she's not a teenager for
she's
sure.
very young.
Yeah, so
And I
I
love
love
that he
it.
always brings in these good young female protagonists. Like we saw it with Ahsoka, we're seeing it with Omega. I think it's so good for young women to have something to relate to in Star Wars.
Yeah, um, I'm glad I watched it.
Yes.
Like I took it. You said I needed it. I loved it. It was very good.
Yeah.
I
The
watched half
reason
of it in one sitting, so
my god. The reason I needed you to watch this was for AZ, which didn't even hit you that hard, but
it
I'm
did not.
glad that the rest of the show, like, picked at your heartstrings.
Nope. Omega's what hit me so hard. Like I
Yeah.
just like she's the reason I'm if she wasn't in the show, I really don't think I would like the show very much. Like,
Yeah.
she's the reason I'm into this show. I'm all about what she's doing to these four daddies and what she's changing in them and what she's changing into. She's the show for me.
Yeah.
It's all her. And Wrecker a bit too, because I like him.
Yeah. Who doesn't like Ricker?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, successful show. I'm glad you made me watch it. This may be one when it hits season 2. I might try to do week by week next
Okay.
time.
Cool. Then we can talk about it as it goes. I had nobody to talk about this show with. I just had to
Yeah,
internalize my emotions the whole time.
I knew it came out. I was like, I mean, like one day.
Yeah.
That was like my thought on it. Like one day, but the next one it's gonna be like, oh, day one.
Yeah.
Not one day, day
Day
one.
one.
Yeah.
Yes.
So very good. I hope you guys have seen this show, liked what
And
we
if
had to
you
say about it,
haven't, I hope
or
you go
just go
watch it.
watch it. It's so
Yes.
good.
It's so good.
I
I know that
mean,
we just kind of gave you the entire plot. If you haven't watched it,
I was
maybe
gonna
that's
say while we gave you stuff, there's still a lot to see,
there's so much
to
to
like
see.
pick in it, and then see
Yeah.
the emotions of the stuff. Like,
The freaking scenery in this show, I think, is enough to make somebody want to watch it. Just like go back to that picture of Camino exploding for a second.
yeah,
Because like I don't think you guys just I don't think you understand how big this is. Just like the scenery. It's like
yeah.
not even
She's not
emotionally
even
big.
saying like big for the universe, just
Yeah,
this
not
scene.
it's not emotionally it's okay, it is emotionally big and plot big, but like
Yeah,
physically and animatedly anim
like
animatababa
to me, picture Last Jedi with shoot that dude more,
yeah.
more. Like it's that scene. Like you have this giant. I mean, this is a giant machine of war that is tearing down what is home for like an entire race of people.
Yeah.
Because the clones are kind of their own race of person,
Yeah.
and this is where they are born and where thousands upon thousands of them reside,
Yes.
and no longer now.
But just
You
like
know?
in the way that it is animated, it is huge.
Oh, it's big.
It is big, it is large.
This whole show is big and large.
It is. They like I
A
said,
lot of it
the
is big.
scenery is ambitious, and I love that. It reminded me so much of the fight in movie 9 where, Rey and Kylo are fighting on, like, that
Oh, the
half
like
destroyed
rainy, like
Yes.
wave stricken lightsaber fight.
Yes. That,
Yeah.
but, like, make it animated, and it
Yeah.
was this.
That, but make it better than that.
Yes.
Yeah, this is a good show.
It's a
From
very good
an
show.
animation standpoint, I was very floored by it most of the time because
Yeah.
I've seen Clone Wars some, and it's a very kid choppy style
Yeah.
at times, and this is it's so fluid. Like I've loved how the show looked.
Yeah.
It was
I
dope.
think by the end of Clone Wars, you're starting to see more scenes in the way of this. Like,
Yeah,
it starts to grow into its own britches, as it were.
yeah.
So,
I can't. I can't with this thing.
just see, like, one ear
With this
sticking up.
guy, this poor sleeping man.
You sleepy baby.
Well, you guys need to check it out.
Yeah, I didn't expect to
This
talk
is
for 2
good.
hours on this show.
Yeah, you
This is
did.
a good
Yeah, you
show.
did. For real. Kelsey was like, "Can we talk a long time?" I was like, "Oh, we can talk. This is a good show."
Yeah,
Like,
it's a good show.
there's a lot. This because we've even said I'm not the biggest Star Wars dude.
Yeah.
I still found a lot in this show.
Yeah.
But there's just a lot in this show. It's a good show.
It's a good show.
Like it's just good. But if you like the Star Wars mythos and stuff, it's better.
Yeah.
So, definitely go check it out, guys.
Yeah.
All right. We'll catch you guys in the next one.
Thanks for joining.
Peace, guys.